Good morning, 8th of December 2019. This screencast is going to try to give you an insight or grasp of the anthropic principle, the principle which introduces the idea which people first latched onto back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s and 50s, when they began to get detailed information about the universe. It occurred to some of them that it was just too fluky for life to have emerged, given the improbable statistical nature of the numerical values between various elements and conditions. If the universe was any smaller, we wouldn't be here. If the electron charge of the electron was different to the teeniest amount, we wouldn't be here. A whole load of things. In fact, just about everything which exists has to exist exactly the way it does exist for life to emerge. This guy here, Fred Hoyle, he was an atheist until he began formulating the numerical improbabilities of various conditions existing for us to be here. And it was this insight into the improbability of the arrangement of the universe which gave him the impetus to become God-minded. A lot of people try to get round the idea of God because some people just don't like the idea of God. And said it was just one of many universes, and we just happen to be living in the one that allows it to exist. If you weigh it up, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't cut it. You got to go to ridiculous lengths to propose something else other than the anthropic principle to account for our lives. And it's just easiest to accept the fact that there's something other than just chance going on. And this is what it was I'd done my own thinking on this idea of the designer principle universe, and the way I thought about it was to try and incorporate the dinosaur class of animals into the picture of the anthropic principle. And it didn't make sense to me that we can have an anthropic principle that implies that all that has happened to give us our existence. But when we appraise it in detail, we come across this anomaly. Because as we start thinking about the idea of designer principle universe, we've got to explain why, if the old idea of life being in the universe is so that it can appraise, evaluate, come to the conclusion that it exists as a unique aspect of the universe, we've got to account for why it is that if there's a designing principle in the universe, why did it bring dinosaurs, bipeds, the first bipeds on the planet, to the point where they could make that crucial further development that we made and become man-shaped? It didn't make sense to me. No matter how I thought about it, I came to this conclusion, this way of looking at things. I just couldn't see how you could have a designer principle universe that can go all orally, go off message, when the potential for us being what we are didn't exist for the dinosaurs. And the only way I could make sense of it was to postulate that amongst the dinosaurs there must have been a man-shaped being which reached the point that we're at now, realised that they were special, they had a special relationship with the universe, and went on to do what we're on the verge of doing, which is to perpetuate independent of the earth. But the problem was, of course, there was no evidence. We assume that in amongst the fossils that we've recovered from the dinosaur bones, that there should be some evidence of some sort which points to their existence. But apparently there isn't. It was while I was working in a hotel in London in the 1960s, I had a chat with a female archaeologist, and during our conversation she just put into the gist of what we were talking about the statement that the skull of a dinosaur man had been found. Of course, I didn't realise, I didn't take much notice of it at the time. It didn't make any sense to me. It wasn't until the 80s when this was formulated, when I began thinking about this, that I realised there was a worldwide conspiracy to keep the existence of the dinosaur class of man-shaped beings a secret. With the advent of the computer, the internet, it eventually fell into place, and the secretive nature of the people who were in the position in government and the media controlled aspects of communicating what is known and not known through the TV. It's controlled by people who've got a vested interest in keeping us ignorant. I came across this sort of thing, and if you want to read this, I'll just scroll down it, and you can read it if you want to. But if you want to know why they're being secretive, about it, you'll find the reasons here, the dates, the people behind it, the reasons for them doing what they're doing. Some people just get a kick out of thinking that they're the numero uno people in the world, and this lot here that you can read about if you want to epitomise that secretive, controlling mentality. It's a bit of a heavy read, but it's well worth it because it explains so much of what's going on in the world today. There's only a few clicks. I hate to keep on going on about this, but we've got to become aware of them, because while we're not saying or doing or realising what's going on, they're busily keeping us ignorant, and among other things. It's for yourselves to do the research. We've got the internet. You can do your own research on this subject, and you'll find out what you need to know if you spend a little bit of time on it. Anyway, we pretty well covered the main aspects, I hope. Talk to your friends and colleagues about it. See if you can come to the same conclusion that a lot of other people are coming to. The truth shall set you free. Right. So that's about it for this cast. Hope you found it enlightening. And see you soon. Bye.